Welcome to paradise. My name is Apollo, the Greek god, and today I'm going to give you guys a no bullshit guide as to how to manifest anything from a man who manifested his own paradise. Right now, I'm in a $1 million villa in Bali that has a pool inside the crib. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I'm in paradise right now and it feels amazing. And I want to share the knowledge and the concepts that have gotten me here right now with every single one of you. And I'd also like to shout out one of my students within my community. Octavian had asked, what is manifestation? How do you do it? And how does it work for you? Now, a lot of cliche spiritual people, they always talk about manifestation. They want to teach manifestation on YouTube and give advice on manifestation. But the first thing I like to ask myself is, what have you manifested yourself? And that's why I decided to do this video in this $1 million villa in Bali. Because what more proof do you need that I know how to manifest than a pool inside my home? At least while I'm in Bali. So what is manifestation, if I had to break it down? Manifestation is simply being able to create or manipulate your reality. Now, a lot of people make it seem like it's something that's so far-fetched and it's just magic and you're just conjuring things into your reality. But honestly, we manifest every single day. For example, maybe you have a thought, I want some Chipotle, right? So you have this thought that you want Chipotle and you want to bring that into your reality. So what do? You go on Uber Eats and you decide to order Chipotle. You put action behind that thought. And then within maybe 30 minutes, Chipotle ends up at your house and you're now eating Chipotle. You have now manifested Chipotle. It's that simple. We manifest every single day. We have thoughts and we put actions behind those thoughts and then we bring those things, those thoughts into our reality. Now, I will say when it comes to manifestation that some goals may take longer than just ordering Chipotle to manifest. And in order to manifest goals like that, you have to make sure that your thoughts, actions, and emotions line up with the version of you that lives in a desired reality that you want to live in. For example, what I mean by that is that let's say you want to manifest being a bodybuilder. Maybe you want to have a nice body, for example. Like I had to work to even get to this point that I'm at right now. If I want to become a bodybuilder, I cannot continue to think and I cannot continue to act like an overweight, lazy person. If you want to be a bodybuilder, but you're lazy and overweight, you're going to continue to do the things that are keeping you in this identity of being someone who's overweight. So in order for you to get to this desired reality, you now would have to adopt the thoughts, actions, and habits of the person you want to be. If I continue to act like a lazy, overweight person, I'm going to continue to eat unhealthy foods. I'm going to continue to not be active. I'm going to continue to sit on the couch, and I'm never going to be the bodybuilder that I actually want to be. How are you going to manifest that reality when you're not even thinking or acting like this person that you actually want to be, that lives the life that you actually want to be? You would then have to change the way that you think and change the way that you act. And this is where this notion of faking it until you make it comes into play. Because in order for you to manifest, sometimes you do have to be delusional. The thing is that the most cliche spiritual people that you might run into, they end up saying that all you have to do is just wish it into your life and then just keep thinking and just keep saying these mantras and then eventually it's going to come into your life. That's not how this works. You have to put action behind those thoughts. So if I'm an overweight, lazy person, well, now I have to act as if I am a bodybuilder. I have to start eating healthy. I have to have healthy thoughts, and I need to be like, okay, I'm gonna push myself when I go work out. I'm gonna go for a run every single day. These are the thoughts that a bodybuilder has every single day. I'm gonna push my limits every single day. Until you have these thoughts and actions, until you are acting in this way, even if you have to pretend to be this person, continue to pretend to be this person until you become this person. It's the only way you're gonna manifest. Manifestation is really simple. The thing is that most people are too lazy and they don't want to put any action behind those thoughts, behind those words. And that is the reason why most people fail to manifest anything. Some people might say that I'm rich. Some people might say that I'm abundant, right? I'm not going to say that I'm rich, but I'll say that I'm at least abundant. I will say that, I don't have to worry about how much money that I'm spending because I know I'm going to make it back, or I have a good enough surplus, right? And like I said about faking it till you make it, You have to sometimes just act as if you already are this person, as if you already are rich. Even if you are poor, sometimes you have to act as if you are rich. You all see that I'm here right now. You all see the pool inside of the house. You all see the villa. You all see where we're at right now. We're in paradise right now, right? At one point, I didn't have any money. But even when I didn't have money, I still acted as if I was rich. I still would buy the things that I still wanted to buy. I would still eat whatever I wanted to eat. I would still go out and buy steak and shrimp, the most expensive things, because it's what I wanted. I never let money be a barrier that stopped me like most poor people do. They keep themselves in this box because they allow it to be a barrier in their life. But I didn't allow it to be a barrier. I didn't allow it to be a limitation on my life. Instead, I said, and a lot of people, when they see how much something costs, they say, oh, that costs so much money, I can't do this thing. Instead, my mindset is, how can I make more money? How can I make enough so I can afford this thing? I don't allow it to stop me. So even when I was poor, even when I was broke, if you want to say that, I still acted as if I was rich. And that's literally the essence of manifestation, actually. It's being able to stay abundant even in scarcity. Like I said, though, when it comes to manifestation, the reason why a lot of these spiritual people get such a bad rep is because a lot of them do come off delusional. A lot of times they're just wishing without putting any action behind what it is that they want to manifest. But it is a real thing to fake it until you make it. It is a real thing to be delusional. Pretend to be this person. What thoughts how does this person think? How does this person act? And just pretend to be like that. Pretend to do it for 30 days. I believe it takes 28 days to form a habit. So if you could do it, pretend to be it for 30 days, eventually it would become a part of your subconscious mind. I don't want to go too deep into the subconscious mind, but the subconscious mind controls 95% of our reality. So if you can control and manipulate what is in your subconscious mind, then you would literally be able to manipulate your reality. It's that simple. Role playing is the reason why I keep telling you that sometimes you're going to have to pretend when it comes to manifestation is because role playing is one of the most effective forms of programming. This is psychology now. And I'm going to be real, I was spiritual first before I studied psychology, but when I studied psychology, it just confirmed everything I believed in spirituality because I believe that psychology is spirituality. Everything is of the mind. If my mind creates my reality and I learn the science of the mind and how the mind works and how I can manipulate what is in my subconscious mind, then now I can manipulate my reality. Role-playing is one of the most effective forms of programming. There was an experiment where they had a bunch of college students split up into two groups. Half of them were pretending and role-playing as cops or officers and guards in that prison, and then the other half were pretending to be prisoners. They had to stop this experiment early because these students got so into this experiment that these prisoners really started to act as if they were prisoners and if they really were in jail, and these cops started to get more and more violent as if they really were cops and guards that were really guarding real prisoners. Role-playing is one of the most effective forms of programming. So if you want to manifest anything, first you must figure out what it is that you want to manifest. If there's a certain life that you want to manifest, what type of person would live this life that you want to manifest? And then you must pretend, you must role-play, and you must think and act as if you are this person. Do it for at least 30 days, I promise you. Eventually, you will just become this person. You will start to live in this manner. The only thing is there is a lag time because your subconscious has to believe it for it to be true. This is not about the surface level thoughts, because there's someone that can be ugly or believe they're ugly. I don't really necessarily believe anyone's ugly. Beauty's in the eye of the beholder. But there's some people that believe that they're ugly, and they'll get these tapes that tell them to go in the mirror and say you're attractive. I'm so attractive, right? But if you deep down in your subconscious believe that you are ugly, and you go in the mirror and you start to say, oh, I'm attractive, you don't believe it. At least your subconscious doesn't believe it. So you're still going to live in a reality where you feel ugly. Until maybe you pretend to be attractive for long enough until you just become attractive. It's all about the aura. Sometimes you see the most unattractive men with some of the most beautiful women, and it just has to do with the way that they perceive reality. They don't see themselves as ugly. So they project an aura as if they are attractive, and then people then reflect what it is that you are projecting. So what I'm telling you guys right now is a concept called a self-fulfilling self-fulfilling prophecy. And it sounds like something that's spiritual, but it's actually something that I learned when I was studying psychology. And a self-fulfilling prophecy, we're going to use Google for this. A self-fulfilling prophecy is when you believe something will happen, and because you believe it, you start acting in ways that make it come true, even if it wouldn't have happened otherwise. So it's simply believing something will happen, and then you act in a way that makes it come true. It's self-fulfilling. So this all comes down to perception, because your perception is what puts your lens on reality, which allows you to either put a limitation on what you can manifest, or it even expands what you are capable of manifesting. It all comes down to your perception. So you really need to start monitoring the thoughts that you are putting into your head, because once again, those thoughts are then going to lead into the actions and behaviors that you act, which is then going to manifest the reality and the version of you that maybe you currently live. So when it comes to the self-fulfilling prophecy, when it comes to perception, you will manifest what you believe is true. So this all comes down to perception, as I'm saying. And let's say we have two people. We have someone who believes, has this perception, I am going to fail. And you have this person that believes, I am going to succeed. Let's say they're both taking a test. This person that believes, I am going to fail, is going to act in a way that makes this statement true, that they are going to fail. So maybe they don't study as much because they believe it's not going to be beneficial. It's not even going to work out. It doesn't really matter because they're just going to fail. Maybe when they take the test, they're nervous and they're second guessing themselves. Maybe they change a bunch of their answers because they're just not sure, because they just believe that they're going to fail. Maybe they don't even try as hard because they believe that they are going to fail. And because they believe that they're going to fail, they act in a way that makes them fail until they fail the test. Then you have another person that has a perception that I'm going to succeed, so then they study. And on the day of the test, they're confident in their answers. They don't second guess themselves, because it's the moment you start second guessing yourself that you don't know what the answer might be, but they're confident in their answers. They're confident in their intuition. They try their hardest to make sure that they do succeed. So because they have this belief and this perception that I'm going to succeed, they act in a way that leads them to success, and then they pass that test. Manifestation. The person that said, I'm going to fail, manifested them failing. And the person that said, I'm going to succeed, manifested them succeeding. Like I said, I wanted to keep this a very simple video. I don't want it to be too complex for, the regular person or the average person. I could go even deeper into this. If you guys do want more deeper knowledge into manifestation, feel free to click the link in the description, join my community, because I want to attract as many of my people as I possibly can into my community. Especially the people that believe in manifestation and understand that we are gods. We are the gods of our reality. In my community, we call each other G, and that's just for God or goddess. It's gender neutral. But because we are gods of our reality, we have the capability through our mind to manifest any reality we want. It's just about us being able to hone it. The thing is that a lot of our mind is something that could either create reality or something that can destroy our reality. A lot of people are too afraid to do certain things, afraid to even do certain actions and do certain behaviors, and that's why they can't manifest the things that they want, because they have certain beliefs and certain perceptions in their minds that stop them from doing the things that they need to do to become the version of them that they need to be to live the life that they want to live. So I'm going to close out this video, but one thing that I want to close this out with is something actionable that you guys can actually do. A lot of people will talk about mantras, but they don't use it correctly. So I'm going to tell you guys exactly how I use mantras so that way I can manifest anything. So when it comes to mantras, once again, the cliche person is going to tell you to just, keep saying, oh, I'm rich, I'm rich, I'm rich, I'm abundant, I'm this, I'm that. Just to keep saying these things, but that's not how you manifest things. Thoughts is only half of the equation. Really, the equation is thoughts plus emotions equals manifestation, because the subconscious mind only responds to emotion. So you must have energized thoughts within your subconscious mind. So I'm gonna show you guys exactly how I use mantras, so that way you guys can energize your own thoughts and embed them into your subconscious. And if the subconscious controls 95% of our reality, which essentially means it controls our entire reality, you'll be able to manipulate your own reality just by using mantras the way that I use mantras. So in order to use mantras how I use it, I'm going to give you guys an example. When I used to take cold showers, when I was first starting to take cold showers, Before I would step into the shower, because obviously, like when you first start to take cold showers, like it makes you shiver. Like it's cold. You know what I'm saying? All I take now is cold showers. That's all I take now. But before, it's just, it's comforting to take warm and hot showers. It's very relaxing. It feels good. But the cold showers is a mental game. And before I would hop into these cold showers, what I would say is nothing conquers me. I would say nothing conquers me, and then I would walk into this cold shower, and then I would let it hit my chest. A lot of times it would sting, but I would keep doing it. I would keep saying, nothing conquers me, nothing conquers me, nothing conquers me, every single time I go in there. Because honestly, every single time I said this mantra, nothing conquers me, and then I did this action of going into this cold shower, regardless if I was comfortable in the cold shower or not, I still didn't allow that fear of this cold shower and the coldness to conquer me. So every single time I did that, and I would do this every single time, right before I hopped into the shower, I would say, nothing conquers me. And then I would do this action of conquering this cold shower. I was energizing it. I was putting action behind my thoughts. And then once I hopped into that cold shower and I said, nothing conquers me, I would feel accomplished. I would feel an emotion because of this. And the more I said it, the more I would embed this mantra that nothing conquers me. Eventually, I would get into these cold showers, and I'd let it hit my chest, and I would eat that. It wouldn't affect me anymore because nothing conquers me. I energized this mantra that nothing conquers me through this action until it became a part of my subconscious mind. And now, anytime I'm faced with a challenge, I welcome it because nothing conquers me. This is how you use mantras. You have to think the mantra, but use the mantra when you do an action that confirms the mantra. That's how you embed it into your subconscious mind. That's how you can embed anything. I even do this when I do push-ups, for example. Like I'll do as many push-ups as I possibly can until like I can't do anymore. And then once my mind tells me to stop, I say nothing conquers me. And then I do another push-up. And then I say nothing conquers me, and I do another push-up. I am confirming this mantra with an action. So now my subconscious mind has no choice but to believe it the more that I do this thing. I'm feeling accomplished every single time I do this as well. So I'm generating emotions. I'm energizing my thoughts, embedding it into my subconscious mind. Another thing that I tell my students to do is even if you just make $1 with trading, because once again, like I said, I'm in this villa right now because of trading. I'm as successful as I am right now, and I'm able to be anywhere and be in paradise whenever I feel like it because of trading. So I teach every single one of my students how to trade so that way they can create their own paradise as well. Another thing that I tell them to do is to be grateful for even $1. Even $1. Even if you make $1, all you gotta say is, I'm so happy and grateful now that I make money trading. It's just $1. It's small scale. To some people, that's nothing, but it's still something. You must be grateful for this because that puts you in a state of gratitude, which automatically puts you at a higher vibration. And anything that you show gratitude for, you will manifest more of. You will draw more of that and attract more of that into your life. So what I tell all my students when they are trading, even when they're just beginners, because there's some people in my community that make thousands of dollars a day. And I'm sure some people want to post in the profits chat and maybe they only made a few dollars, right? Be grateful even just for the $1, and you can still say this mantra, I'm so happy and grateful that I make money trading. You can still say it, even if it's just $1, because you confirmed it by even making this $1. Keep doing that. Eventually that $1 becomes $2, $2 becomes $4, $4 becomes $8, $8 becomes 16, 16 becomes 32, 32 becomes 64, 64 becomes 128, 128 becomes 256. 256 becomes 512. That 512 becomes 1,024. Now you're making $1,000 a day, and you can still say this mantra, I'm so happy and grateful now that I make money trading. You can still say this mantra. You can still energize it. Energize this action that you are confirming with this mantra, I am so happy and grateful that I make money every single day trading. Even small scale, you can use mantras in this way. But you must use the mantra. Say the mantra. Say it out loud if you have to. Our voice is one of the most powerful things in the world because it's projecting a literal vibration. The world is literally music. If I stop for a second, you can hear the wind. You can hear the birds. It's the music of God. Everything is music. Music is literally a divine art. It's something that transcends form. And through our voice, we can literally conjure things into our reality. So say these mantras using this voice, this powerful tool, one of the most powerful tools God has given us. I would say our voice and our mind are some of the most powerful tools God has given us. Use these tools so that way you can manifest anything in your reality. You must say the mantra once you do something that confirms the mantra. You can't just sit on the couch and say, I'm rich, and expect money to just fall out the fucking sky. That's not how this shit fucking works. But if you make even just $1 trading and you say, I'm rich, and every single time you make $1, you say, I'm rich, you're confirming it. Even though it's just $1, you're still doing an action that confirms what it is that you are saying, which is confirming this belief. I would say that's one of the most powerful concepts that I started to do. I kind of came up with it myself. I'm not gonna lie. I just thought it was kind of cliche that a lot of these spiritual people would think, you could just keep saying these words without doing anything behind them and think that it's gonna manifest into your reality. That's not how it works. But just doing mantras like that and saying mantras once you do something that confirms the mantra is going, the more you do it, the more it's gonna become embedded into your subconscious until your subconscious believes it's true. Once your subconscious believes it's true, if the subconscious controls 95% of your reality, it would become your reality. Even if you're doing it at small scale, it doesn't matter. So something that I tell myself all the time is that I want to build paradise. And by that, I mean, I would love to buy an island one day and just put all of my people on it and, live how I believe we should live within paradise, a heaven on earth, and not have to slave for money every single day. I don't believe that's necessarily what we were created for. Because I wanted to build paradise for myself and even for my people, all of my thoughts and actions have been gravitating towards doing those things so that way I can become the person that can actually build paradise, right? One of the things that I did was name my Discord community Paradise. And now every single time someone joins my community, there's over 30,000 people in that community. If you guys want to be a part of that community, it started off as a spiritual community, and it'll always be a spiritual community at its core, but now it's just becoming a community for self-improvement because I believe the point of life is to innovate and evolve. But I named the Discord community Paradise. And now every single time somebody joins my community, I get to say, I'm so happy and grateful now that I am building paradise. Every time I improve my Discord, I am building paradise. I am confirming this mantra that I am building paradise. Every single time I make any improvements, every single time somebody joins the community, every single time the community gets bigger and it gets better, every single time I see one of my students be successful, I am building paradise. I'm confirming this mantra, and I'm getting closer and closer to the version of me that will build paradise. Because that's my goal. I want to put all my people on the island, and I want to build paradise. I think money is not something that we should be slaving for our entire life. I believe we were supposed to come into this world and just live as soon as we come into it. So that's the world that I want to build, and that's the world that I am building. And the more people that join my community, the more people I see that are like-minded to me, the more people that I see that are aligned with this vision, the more I see that this is something that is going to happen. It's inevitable. Even if I'm gone, somebody in my community is going to do it. So if any of you resonate with this message, if any of you like this video on manifestation, if you learn anything from it, please leave a like on this video as well. I want to thank you so much for even just giving me your energy and resonating with me that you even clicked on this video. But at the same time, I also want you to click the link in the description and join the community. If you are like-minded to me, if you aren't offended when I say that we are all gods of our reality, and you understand that what I mean by that is that we are infinite beings, we have infinite potential, and that we can do anything that we put our mind to, meaning we are literally the creators of our reality. One of the greatest gifts God has given us is the gift of creation. Well, if I can put all of my people into a community and we are all aligned to this goal and vision of building paradise, well, if we all work towards this goal, I believe that we can build paradise, that we can build a heaven on earth. And because of that, I would love if every single one of you click that link in the description and join the community. I want to see every single one of you in paradise, and I hope you can use the knowledge that I just gave you to build your own. I hope that this is death to the matrix, to innovate and evolve until paradise.